Hello and welcome. My name is Michelle Mabel, and depending on where you're tuning in right now, this is Aquarian Star Art and Spirit podcast, and also just Michelle Mabel on YouTube. This is going to be a full moon reading for. We're going to start off with air signs. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, all 4 elements are going to be included in this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, each element is going to be divided up into 4 separate videos. So to begin, we are starting with air signs, and I will be consulting with the Wild Unknown trilogy of decks. Actually, I'm not going to be using the Wild Unknown Tarot today. I'll be drawing from the Archetypes deck and the Animal Spirit deck. I'm also going to pull a card from the Starseed Oracle, and the main tarot is going to be read from the Lightseers Tarot today. Alright, let's get started. I did do a pre-shuffle before I began recording and got my space all situated and made my connection to spirits, and I've called in my ancestors and guides to assist me in this reading. There's a lot of big energy this week astrologically, and there's also a lot of energy surrounding this full moon in Virgo that is upcoming, and so I felt very much called to do a reading for this full moon and give you guys the skinny on what's happening in the energetic soup for this full moon, and maybe what you need to think about, meditate on. Okay, so air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, we have for you the empty room. The empty room. What does the empty room mean to you? Think about that just for a moment while I'm processing this and looking into the author's interpretation, or I don't even want to say interpretation, I mean intention. I do read from the book because each of these decks is very specific and significant, and the author had a very specific intent for each card, especially with the oracle cards. So I want to stay true to the author's vision. I will give my intuitive insights, of course, and I also want you to explore your intuitive insights. What does the empty room make you feel? Think about that for a moment, and when I return in just a brief moment, I'm going to tell you what the author has to say about that. What is the empty room for you? Okay, so I'm going to tell you personally, for me, Michelle Mabel, that what this is about is letting go of lack. Especially if you've sat in this energy of lack for any period of time, that is very much coming to a close at this full moon. And if you are feeling that there is something left that you need to release, it is this feeling of lack, emptiness. That's me. That was spirit guiding me, and I'm sharing it with you because you might need to hear it too. But the empty room is a vortex, an abyss. It's nothingness. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, The empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness. Be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. Now, the other side of this, now after having read the interpretation by the author of these cards, is that, and I had already been instinctually receiving this download about this full moon anyway, and I'm an earth sign, I'm an Aquarius. So, this full moon is very much about being in your own energy and putting up a shield to all other energies outside of you. Do not absorb other energies. Whatever sort of light clearing, energy clearing, meditation work that you need to do during this full moon period, and that starts now. It's Thursday. The full moon is supposedly Friday into Saturday, or early Saturday morning, perhaps. I forget the exact time, but 3 days before and 3 days after, we're in the energy no matter what. Okay. I'm not saying hermit mode. Of course, there's still room for the hermit card to come out, but it is kind of hermit mode, but it's a shielding of outside energies and a grounding, an anchoring of your energy, and an anchoring of your energy from where you want to propel forward and not from where you've been in the past. Okay? The archetype of the empty room is also portrayed as the hungry ghost, always feeding and never satiated. So this is why you have to be grounded in your own energy and shielded from outside energies right now, air sign, because it's like a hungry ghost. Even people who have good intent towards you and don't necessarily mean to sap from your energy, they're still capable of doing it without even realizing it, and sometimes without you even realizing it. So really, if you're doing a lot of inner work right now, and you're really, you feel that sort of breakthrough energy coming, this full moon period is not the full moon period to be social, okay? This is definitely a time for you to, face whatever is left of your shadows and set an intention to release those things, and set an intention to release energies that try to siphon your energy. Okay? A day of silence is a surefire way to harness the power of the empty room. So perhaps consider taking a day to do silent ritual during the full moon period, during the height of the full moon. Take 12 or 13 hours and just be completely silent. Be in meditation, be out in nature, and be grounded within yourself. Yeehaw, y'all. Here we go. We're doing it. All right. Next up, I'm going to pull a card from the Starseed Oracle. What do we need to know about this full moon in Virgo upcoming February 28th, 27th, 28th, I believe? 26th even? Y'all, I'm sorry. Quarantine has got me not remembering dates sometimes unless they're really significant. But full moon in Virgo, end of February. It's coming. It's here. We're in the energy, okay? Regardless of the date. Okay, so this is a reminder that you've got the love. Is a reminder that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be in your own energy. There's nothing to be afraid of there. When you are constantly running from yourself, you are going to mirror that back to you. So the people that you come across that maybe you have an interest in, they're going to run from you because you're running from yourself. Okay? That's a channeled message apparently, because I don't know that that has anything to do with this card, although the card does indicate codependency energy, and boundaries. Looking at how you lose yourself in relationships and how you can develop a deeper love for yourself right now at this time, air sign. Okay, so this is about Hadarian energy also. The Hadarians are believed to be beacons of pure, divine, unconditional love who see love in all people and situations. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaried, interdependent, healthy relationships because they only see the unconditional nature of those they meet. The lovers of the cosmos, they dive in fast. They're here to learn how to love while in a separate body, to learn to love self first and then establish healthy relationships with others, to remember that the love they seek is already within them, that they truly do have the love all on their own. The message of this card is to review the ways you may need to establish healthier boundaries. Perhaps you're in a codependent relationship in which you may be losing your sense of self. It's common for starseeds to dive deep into relationships, particularly with those who feel safe and familiar at a soul level. Just because someone feels safe and familiar at a soul level doesn't mean that they are contributing to your healing path. Sometimes safe and familiar is exactly the opposite of what we need. Perhaps you're in a relationship in which you give more than you receive, or perhaps there's a certain volatility to it and you're always unsure where you stand. This card is a sign to do a relationship review and see what energetic agreements you've made, consciously or unconsciously. To acknowledge if there are relationships in which you feel anxious or powerless, in which you don't feel like it's safe to relax and just be you. To assess if there are any places of inadequacy that you've used a relationship to soothe and cover up. That's a lot. It's pretty heavy, but I will say, like, for me right now, I have planets moving into my romantic sector, my house of committed partnerships during this full moon, and that's something that I need to look at. And I am, again, an air sign, so that may be true for you as well. It's definitely a time to take a look at maybe where we're expending more energy than we need to towards people who aren't ready to receive it. Okay, let's see what the animal spirit deck has to say about this. What animal spirit wants to come out and talk to us today? Oh, the dragonfly flipped out of the deck. This is often about, you guessed it, transformation. Transformation is also, I feel, a very big theme of this full moon and has been of this Aquarius season. And we are now moving into Pisces again. Let's see. Just give me a moment. Dragonfly energy. Also, spring is coming. Spring is right around the corner. So the dragonflies are going to be much more in season. And with all that blue and green energy, that evokes some Piscean and throat chakra energy as well. This is the Master of Light, illusion, and the mind. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder in all. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind, as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still? Dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. The dragonfly is encouraging you, if you feel out of balance, if you feel that you can't concentrate and your mind is too busy during this full moon period, please do focus on your breath. The fourfold breathing technique is a fantastic way to calm your mind. Interesting. Meditation music should not have interference in it like that. I don't know if y'all can hear it. It is kind of very in the background because I didn't want to have any sort of copyright infringement problems. So anyway, dragonfly energy. I'm not quite sure how this connects. If it resonates for you, awesome. If it doesn't, that's fine too. I legit don't really know what to say about it. I'm going to draw some tarot. Kind of try and bring some clarity in on this. Okay, please give me a few cards for air signs. We've got the Magician coming out. Big manifestation energy. This is a very powerful full moon for manifestation. So that's another reason why you